Self-deception is one of the most subtle but destructive forces in our lives. It's easy to tell ourselves that we're doing okay, that we're on the right path, that everything will work out in time. But the truth is, self-deception has the power to delay our destiny in ways we don't even realize. The moment we start lying to ourselves, we begin to take longer routes toward our purpose, and in many cases, we never even reach it. When you lie to yourself, you create a false narrative of your life, and that narrative becomes the lens through which you view the world. It clouds your judgment and convinces you that the struggles you're facing are either not your fault or will somehow resolve themselves without effort. You may tell yourself, "I'm fine just the way I am. I'll get to it tomorrow," or "I don't need help." But in reality, those lies keep you stuck, stagnant, and far from your potential. Self-deception starts small. It's the little compromises we make every day, the small decisions to avoid confrontation with the truth. We tell ourselves that the things we're avoiding don't matter, that they're not worth addressing right now. But slowly, these little lies add up, and before we know it, we're standing on a mountain of unaddressed truths that keep us from stepping into the future we were meant to live. Think about it. When you tell yourself that your dreams don't matter enough to chase, or that success isn't really meant for someone like you, you're locking yourself in a prison built by your own words. You're convinced that you're okay with mediocrity, but deep down, you know that you are made for more. The truth is, every time you lie to yourself about your ability or potential, you're delaying your destiny. You're pushing back the very things you were born to achieve, all because you're avoiding the truth. Now, I'm not saying that we should all be perfectionists or expect instant results in everything we do. But there's a difference between being kind to yourself and actively lying to yourself. Being honest with yourself means admitting the areas where you need to grow, where you've fallen short, and where you've taken the easy way out. It's acknowledging that in order to see change, you have to be willing to change yourself first. Without that willingness, the road ahead will remain unclear, and your purpose will continue to feel just out of reach. You see, the longer you hold on to those lies, the longer it takes for you to move forward. Procrastination becomes the excuse that justifies your inaction. Fear becomes the lie that tells you you're not good enough to try. Doubt becomes the justification for why you haven't yet stepped into your greatness. But each one of these is just a lie, and if you continue to listen to them, you'll find yourself years down the road, still stuck in the same place. How many years do you want to waste before realizing that the truth was right there all along? The beauty of facing the truth is that it's liberating. When you stop lying to yourself, you step out of the shadows of self-deception and into the light of clarity. The truth may not always be easy to accept, but it always gives you the opportunity to make better choices. And better choices lead to better outcomes. When you tell yourself the truth about who you are, where you've been, and where you're going, you begin to take responsibility for your life in a way that unlocks your potential. Self-deception also keeps you from seeing the truth about other people. We often lie to ourselves about the relationships in our lives, telling ourselves that certain toxic behaviors are just a phase, that people who are mistreating us will eventually change, or that we can continue to give without receiving in return. These lies drain us, holding us hostage in relationships that were never meant to take us to the next level. But the truth is, when you stop lying to yourself about these relationships, you can take the necessary steps to set boundaries, protect your peace, and focus on relationships that truly add value to your life. In the end, you can't become who you were meant to be if you're not willing to face the truth about yourself. The longer you delay confronting the uncomfortable truths in your life, the more you delay your destiny. But when you choose to embrace the truth, no matter how hard it is, you open the door to transformation. You begin to unlock doors that were once closed, and you find yourself walking confidently into the future that was always meant for you. So, ask yourself today, what truths have you been avoiding? What lies have you been telling yourself? And what are you going to do to stop the deception and start living in the fullness of your purpose? The power to change begins with one simple decision. Stop lying to yourself. Real growth begins the moment you confront what's uncomfortable. The truth is, we often run from discomfort because it challenges us to face our weaknesses, our failures, and the very things we don't want to admit about ourselves. But it's in that discomfort that the seeds of transformation are planted. The process of growth is not neat, it's not easy, and it doesn't come in a pretty package. It's often painful, and it requires us to move through fear and uncertainty. However, it is in this process that we discover our true potential. If you've ever tried to change something in your life, you know that the first step is always the hardest. The moment you face the truth about where you are in life, where you've been, and where you need to go, you are confronted with a choice. You can either choose to stay in the comfort of your current situation, pretending that everything is fine, or you can choose to step out of your comfort zone and embrace the discomfort of change. This is where real growth happens. Think about it. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is a place where everything feels familiar, safe, and predictable. But it's also a place where nothing ever changes. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to step outside of that comfort zone and confront the things that scare you. You have to be willing to challenge yourself, push past your limitations, and do things that you've never done before. That's where growth is born. It's easy to get comfortable in a situation that feels stable. Maybe you've been in a job for years, or in a relationship that you know isn't serving you, or in a routine that keeps you stuck in the same place. But deep down, you know that you're capable of more. You know that there's more waiting for you if you're willing to face the discomfort that comes with pursuing it. The key to unlocking your true potential lies in your ability to confront the truth and face the discomfort that comes with it. The discomfort of growth often comes with the pain of shedding old habits, mindsets, and behaviors. We all have baggage that we carry with us, past mistakes, regrets, failures, fears, and doubts. These things weigh us down and keep us from moving forward. But when we choose to confront them, when we stop avoiding the hard truths about ourselves, we begin to break free from the chains that have held us back. Growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when we are willing to face the ugly parts of ourselves, learn from them, and make the decision to move forward despite the pain. Growth also requires us to let go of the need for instant gratification. We live in a world that values quick results, immediate success, and overnight transformations. But real growth is a process that takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and resilience. It's about making the decision every day to move forward, even when the results are not immediate. In fact, the longer you stay committed to your growth, the more significant the transformation becomes. It's not about how quickly you can change. It's about how deeply you are willing to commit to the process. In order to grow, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable with your current state. That means looking at your life and being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to be. It means acknowledging the areas where you've fallen short, the mistakes you've made, and the things you need to change. But it also means recognizing that you have the power to change. The truth is that growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you make the decision to confront your current reality and take the necessary steps to improve it. We often shy away from discomfort because we equate it with failure. But discomfort isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're growing. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you are moving closer to the person you were always meant to be. It's through the discomfort of challenging your old beliefs, habits, and patterns that you begin to unlock the greatness within you. You start to see new possibilities, new opportunities, and a new version of yourself that you never thought was possible. Growth also requires a mindset shift. You have to be willing to stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. When you face discomfort, it's easy to see it as a barrier that's holding you back. But in reality, discomfort is a teacher. It teaches you resilience, patience, and perseverance. It teaches you how to bounce back from failure and how to keep moving forward, no matter what. The more you embrace the discomfort, the more equipped you become to handle whatever comes your way. As you continue to grow, you will realize that the process is not linear. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments when you feel like giving up. But that's all part of the journey. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always a smooth path. But if you keep pushing through the discomfort, keep confronting the truth, and keep moving forward with faith and determination, you will eventually see the transformation you've been working toward. In the end, the key to growth is your willingness to confront what's uncomfortable. It's about embracing the process, no matter how difficult it may be, and choosing to move forward even when the road ahead seems uncertain. If you're willing to face the discomfort, to confront the truth, and to push past the fear and the doubt, you will experience a transformation that will change your life forever. Excuses are elegant lies in disguise. We all make excuses, often without even realizing it. These excuses appear as valid reasons for why we can't take action or why we haven't reached our goals. But the reality is, they're just lies that we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of facing the truth. Excuses are convenient stories we create to justify our inaction, to keep us from confronting the areas of our lives where we're falling short. But the danger of excuses is that they not only keep us from moving forward, they also keep us from realizing our true potential. When you make an excuse, you're essentially creating a barrier between you and your future. Excuses make you feel justified in staying where you are, even though you know deep down that you were meant for more. It's like giving yourself permission to remain stuck. Excuses sound logical at first, but when you strip them down, they are nothing more than rationalizations that allow us to remain in our comfort zones. We tell ourselves things like, "I don't have enough time," "I'm too old," "it's too hard," or "I'm not good enough." But when you look closely, you see that these are just convenient ways of avoiding the truth about what needs to change. Every time you make an excuse, you deny yourself the opportunity for growth. Excuses take away your responsibility and shift the blame onto external factors, whether it's time, resources, or other people. They convince you that you have no control over your situation, that you're powerless to make a difference in your own life. But the truth is, excuses are nothing more than a way of avoiding accountability. They allow us to dodge the tough questions, the ones that demand us to face our fears and take ownership of our actions. For example, think about the excuse of "I don't have enough time." We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Time is not the issue. It's how we choose to spend it. When you say you don't have time, what you're really saying is that the things that matter most to you aren't important enough to make time for. That's the harsh truth. The truth is, if something truly matters to you, you will make the time for it. But instead of acknowledging that, it's easier to say, "I don't have time." And in doing so, we avoid the responsibility of prioritizing our goals. Similarly, the excuse of "I'm too old" is another lie that we tell ourselves. Age is often used as a reason for not pursuing dreams or starting new ventures. But age is just a number. It doesn't define your ability to achieve greatness. There are countless examples of people who have accomplished incredible things later in life. The truth is, it's never too late to start, and it's never too early to begin. What matters is your willingness to take action, no matter where you are in life. When you say, "I'm too old," you're surrendering your power to age rather than embracing the wisdom and experience that come with it. Excuses also often come in the form of "I'm not good enough." This is a particularly damaging lie because it attacks yourself worth. We all face moments of self-doubt, but letting that doubt control your actions is where the problem lies. The truth is, nobody starts off as an expert. Nobody is born with all the skills, knowledge, or experience needed to succeed. Success comes from showing up, learning, and growing through the process. But when you say, "I'm not good enough," you prevent yourself from even trying. You shut down any possibility of success before you even begin. The thing about excuses is that they're seductive. They offer a quick way out, a reason to put off the hard work, a way to ease our conscience. But in reality, excuses are a trap. The more you use them, the more you stay stuck in the same cycle of unfulfilled potential. Excuses allow you to play the victim, to tell yourself that things are out of your control. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and your goals is the choice to stop making excuses and start taking action. In the long run, excuses are a form of self-sabotage. They prevent you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. They create a false sense of security, convincing you that you don't need to try because circumstances are against you. But the reality is, you will never be able to change your circumstances if you don't first take responsibility for them. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you take control of your life. You stop blaming external factors and start recognizing that you have the power to create change. You can't change your situation by waiting for things to get easier or for the perfect conditions to arrive. You have to take action despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, and despite the excuses that you may try to make. When you take ownership of your actions, when you stop hiding behind excuses, you open the door to possibilities you never thought possible. You start to see the world differently. You realize that everything you need to succeed is already inside you. What's holding you back is your willingness to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. The key to overcoming excuses is not just recognizing them, it's confronting them head on and challenging the lies they tell you. When you feel an excuse rising up, ask yourself, is this the truth, or is this just a way of avoiding the work I need to do? The more you challenge your excuses, the more you begin to break free from their grip. It's about being brutally honest with yourself and refusing to let any excuse prevent you from stepping into your greatness. So today, stop making excuses. Stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity control your actions. Instead of asking yourself why you can't do something, start asking yourself what you need to do to make it happen. Stop lying to yourself with excuses and start telling yourself the truth about what you're capable of. You cannot heal what you won't reveal. This is one of the hardest truths to confront, but it's also one of the most powerful. It's easy to pretend that everything is fine, to put on a brave face and act like you've got it all together. We all do it. Hide behind a facade to protect ourselves from the pain of facing our past, our mistakes, and the things that have hurt us. But the truth is, as long as you keep your wounds hidden, they will never truly heal. They will fester, they will grow, and they will continue to influence your life in ways that you may not even fully realize. When we avoid confronting our pain, it doesn't go away. It's not like a wound that heals on its own with time. Emotional wounds are different. They require exposure, vulnerability, and honesty before they can begin to heal. Just like a physical injury that needs to be cleaned and treated in order to heal properly, emotional wounds need to be revealed, examined, and addressed. When you try to hide them, they become infected with resentment, bitterness, and fear. And over time, they start to impact your relationships, your decisions, and even your sense of self-worth. Healing begins with the decision to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. You cannot move forward until you acknowledge the pain you've been carrying with you. It's easy to want to bypass this step, to think that if you ignore the hurt long enough, it will go away. But the reality is that you cannot experience the fullness of your potential until you allow yourself to be vulnerable and honest about the things that have wounded you. Only then can you start the process of healing and reclaim your power. There's a powerful freedom that comes with revealing your pain. When you stop hiding from it, when you stop pretending that everything is okay, you take away its power over you. Holding onto unresolved pain is like holding onto chains. Chains that keep you bound to the past. Chains that stop you from moving forward into the future that's waiting for you. But when you choose to reveal what's been hurting you, you break those chains. You take control of your healing process, and you give yourself permission to let go of the things that have been holding you back. The process of healing requires vulnerability. It's not easy to open up and expose your deepest hurts, especially when you've been taught to keep everything inside. But vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to acknowledge your pain, to admit that you've been hurt, and to take the necessary steps toward healing. But once you make the decision to reveal your wounds, you begin to experience a sense of liberation. You no longer have to carry the burden of pretending everything is fine, and you can begin the journey of healing one step at a time. Another key aspect of healing is forgiveness. Often the wounds we carry are tied to the people who have hurt us, whether through betrayal, abandonment, or mistreatment. Holding on to anger, resentment, or unforgiveness only prolongs the pain. But when you reveal your pain, when you face it head on, you also open yourself up to the possibility of forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Forgiving someone doesn't mean that what they did was okay. It means that you are no longer allowing their actions to control your life or your peace. Forgiveness is about releasing the hold that the past has on you so that you can move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Revealing your wounds also means allowing yourself to grieve. So often, we try to rush through our emotions, pushing them down and pretending we're fine. But grief is a natural and necessary part of the healing process. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or hurt. It's okay to take time to process your emotions and allow yourself to heal at your own pace. Grief is not something to be ashamed of. It's a sign that you are allowing yourself to feel, to release, and to heal. When you give yourself permission to grieve, you open the door to true healing and growth. As you begin to reveal your pain, you will also start to recognize the ways in which it has shaped your life. Unhealed wounds often manifest in behaviors, choices, and patterns that limit your growth. For example, if you've experienced rejection in the past, you may find yourself avoiding relationships or pushing people away out of fear of being hurt again. If you've been betrayed, you may struggle to trust others, even when they have done nothing to earn your mistrust. These patterns are often unconscious, but once you begin to reveal your wounds, you can start to understand how they've shaped your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And once you understand the root of your pain, you can begin to break free from these patterns and make healthier choices. Revealing your pain doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. Healing is not a solitary process. There are people who can support you along the way, whether it's a trusted friend, a therapist, or a support group. There is strength in community, and allowing others to walk alongside you as you heal can make all the difference. Don't be afraid to reach out for help when you need it. You don't have to carry the burden of your pain by yourself. In the end, healing is about accepting yourself as you are, acknowledging the wounds you've carried, and giving yourself permission to heal. You cannot heal what you won't reveal. The truth is, the longer you hide from your pain, the longer it will control you. But when you face it, when you expose it to the light, you begin to take back your power. The healing process is not easy and it's not quick. But it is necessary if you want to move forward in life and step into the person you were always meant to be. Embrace the process, reveal your wounds, and trust that healing is possible. It's time to stop hiding and start healing. The road to true transformation is paved with action, and it's only through consistent, intentional steps that we can begin to see real change in our lives. We often talk about wanting to change, whether it's to improve our health, our finances, our relationships, or our career. But change doesn't happen just because we want it to. It requires more than just wishing for a better future. It requires consistent, deliberate actions that align with our goals. The truth is, you can have all the desire in the world, but if you're not willing to take action, nothing will change. We've all been there. We make resolutions, set goals, and dream of a better life, but then we get caught in the cycle of inaction. We find ourselves procrastinating, waiting for the perfect time to start, or telling ourselves that we're not ready yet. We make excuses and tell ourselves that we'll begin tomorrow, next week, or in a few months. But the reality is, the longer we wait, the more we delay our transformation. Time keeps moving forward, and the longer we remain stagnant, the more opportunities pass us by. The key to transformation is consistency. It's the daily actions, no matter how small, that lead to lasting change. When you commit to making progress, even in tiny increments, over time, those actions compound and produce results. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what turns a vague aspiration into a tangible outcome. But consistency requires discipline, and discipline comes from a deep understanding of why you want to change in the first place. If your why is strong enough, it will fuel your commitment to taking action every single day. Taking action also means facing the inevitable setbacks and obstacles that will come your way. Transformation isn't a straight line. It's a journey filled with bumps, detours, and challenges. The road to change can be frustrating and disheartening at times. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when progress feels slow, or when it seems like the results aren't worth the effort. But this is precisely when your commitment to action matters the most. It's easy to keep going when things are going well, but it's in the face of adversity that true growth happens. When you keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult, you build resilience and strength that will serve you in every area of your life. Taking action also requires courage. It's easy to stay in the familiar, to stick with what feels comfortable, even if it's not helping you grow. But change requires stepping into the unknown. It requires stepping outside of your comfort zone and taking risks. Whether it's starting a new job, moving to a new city, or having a difficult conversation with someone, these actions may feel scary at first, but they are necessary for growth. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to take action in spite of it. When you take action, you push through your fears, doubts, and insecurities, and you open the door to new possibilities. Another key aspect of action is accountability. When you take action toward your goals, you give yourself a clear direction and a sense of purpose. But you also need people who will hold you accountable along the way. Having a support system is crucial for keeping you on track and helping you stay committed when times get tough. Accountability partners, whether they're friends, mentors, or colleagues, can provide encouragement, guidance, and constructive feedback. They can also help you stay focused when distractions or obstacles arise. If you're serious about transformation, surround yourself with people who believe in your vision and who will challenge you to stay the course. One of the most important things to remember when it comes to taking action is that progress doesn't always look like perfection. Too often, we get caught up in the idea that we need to do everything perfectly or that we should already be at the finish line. This mindset can paralyze us, making us afraid to even start because we fear failure. But perfection is not the goal, progress is. Every small step you take, every action you take toward your goal is a step in the right direction. Even if you stumble or make mistakes along the way, those setbacks are part of the process. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons that teach you how to improve, adapt, and keep going. The key is not to avoid mistakes, but to keep taking action despite them. It's through consistent effort, not perfection, that you'll see the transformation you're seeking. Taking action also requires self-belief. You must believe that you are capable of achieving your goals and that your efforts will lead to results. Self-doubt can be one of the biggest obstacles to taking action, but the truth is that you are capable of much more than you give yourself credit for. When you believe in yourself and in your ability to make progress, you create momentum. Momentum is a powerful force. It propels you forward and helps you overcome challenges. The more you believe in yourself, the more confident you become in taking bold actions. And as you see the results of your actions, your belief in yourself will grow even stronger, creating a cycle of success. Finally, taking action is about embracing the journey, not just the destination. It's easy to focus on the end result and get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want them to. But true transformation is not just about achieving a specific outcome. It's about the person you become in the process. Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, and every lesson you learn along the way shapes who you are and how you approach life. When you embrace the journey, you find fulfillment in the growth and progress you make every day, not just in the end result. So, stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop making excuses. Start taking action now, even if it's a small step. Commit to your goals, embrace the discomfort of change, and stay consistent. Transformation won't happen overnight, but with intentional action, you will begin to see the change you desire. The key to transforming your life is not wishing for it, but working for it. And the best time to start is right now. In conclusion, the journey to personal transformation begins with one powerful decision: to stop lying to yourself. The excuses, the avoidance, the fear, all of these are just barriers holding you back from stepping into the greatness you were meant for. You must confront the truth about where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. It's only when you stop making excuses, stop hiding your pain, stop avoiding action, and stop lying to yourself that you can break free from the chains of limitation. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a commitment to consistently doing the hard work, to confronting your fears, to taking action, and to being vulnerable enough to reveal the things that have been holding you back. Every small step, every bit of courage, every moment of vulnerability will eventually lead you to the life you've always dreamed of. You have within you the power to change, to heal, and to grow. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is, will you? So today, choose to stop lying to yourself. Stop hiding behind excuses. Stop avoiding the truth. Embrace the power of honesty, action, and consistent effort. Understand that your journey of transformation starts with a decision, and that decision is yours to make. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for tomorrow. The time to act is now.